Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here. We're here again this week with some more exciting news about what's going on in the boxing world. As you all know, we had Benji Estevez yesterday, a great guest, outstanding referee. And today we have another individual involved in boxing. And he just turned professional as a referee recently in Colorado. And he's been involved in the amateurs. Welcome to the show, Jason Vegas Vincent.
Hey, man, grateful. Thanks for having me on again, man. Very grateful.
Good to have you again. And there's so many things that are happening in boxing. The year is almost out, but we had a good year with great fights throughout the year. David Haney looked outstanding.
Yeah.
When he beat the kid from Australia.
Camposis, yeah.
Camposis. And it was a good fight, and now he's undisputed junior lightweight champion of the world.
And you know what? He's from Las Vegas, too, so that makes it even better.
Well, he lives in Las Vegas, originally from Oakland.
Oakland, California, Bay Area guy. But, he's been here. And, you have that story with Devin Haney at the Junior Golden Gloves, right?
Yeah, actually, with the PAL tournament up in Mesquite.
Yeah.
When he was 10 years old. And he boxed, and I was watching this kid box. And after he won this fight, he won the tournament, I said, son, come here, son. I said, who's your trainer? He said, my dad. Where is he? Bring your dad over here.
Yeah.
He brought his dad a bill. I brought him over. And I said, sir, this kid here is championship material. This kid got the talent. He said, coming from you, Mr. Cortez, I said, I'm telling you, I've been around boxing. This kid's got it.
Yeah.
For 10 years of age, what he's got, you watch. World championship material. 10 years later, at the age of 20, WBC lightweight champion of the world.
Got all 4 belts, man. That's amazing. That's so hard to do, and it's so rare in the boxing business.
He won the WBC belt first, then he fought with the unified championship.
He got the belts from the guy from Camposis,
Yeah, so now he's up there, and now you got Devontae Davis, another good one out there, and you got Ryan Garcia. Those 3 guys right there.
Lomachenko fighting this weekend at Madison Square Garden.
You got Teofimo Lopez. You got a group of top up-and-coming fighters.
That 130, but you get into that 135, 140, 140, 147, those weight classes are just stacked.
Yeah, that's
you add in L. Spence and Crawford and, the higher weight classes.
Every couple of 10 years or so, you see a bunch of young fighters come up. And they basically, Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney about 5 times, I understand. And they kind of split on those fights in the amateurs.
In the amateurs, yeah.
I like to see those guys fighting the pros.
It's unique what we have right now. Like you said, every 10-ish years it happens. And I happened to, watch the documentary last week on the 4 Kings.
Yeah.
Duran, Leonard, Thomas Hearns, and Hagler. And, I don't want to compare these guys to them, but, man, the potential's there where you could have that outstanding decade like you did in the late 70s through the 80s into the early 90s with those, lightweight and welterweight type divisions.
Those 4 Kings were something else.
Oh, awesome.
But these young fighters that we have today, I think they'll be pretty much the same. But it'll take a little while before they get to that level.
Who do you pick? You got, like you said, Davis. You got, obviously, Devin Haney who has the belts now. Lopez had some of the belts. He lost one time. He got caught, lost one time. And that's outstanding. Like, where do you go?
Yeah, you got Lomachenko.
Lomachenko coming back.
But Lomachenko's on his way out.
Yeah.
And so you already got the other guys that we just said. And let's see what happens. They're going to be good in the lightweight, junior, welterweight division.
I just hope all these guys fight each other. That's the main, make the fights.
It got to be, because if they fight other guys, there'll be other guys that are not at their level, and they'll be like pushovers. We got to see these guys; they're all good.
Yeah.
They match against, like we said, Roberto Duran, Hagler, Hearns. And
they fight each other in their primes, and, they fought each other multiple times. I can see all these different combinations with these guys fighting each other multiple times, and wow, it's just amazing.
Because they're all young,
Yeah, they're all babies.
They're all young, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So tell me what's happening with the amateur level. Now you got some fights coming up tomorrow.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
Yeah, yep. At your buddy's place, Hall of Fame referee Richard Still. We got what do we got tomorrow? We got the Halloween Boxing Showdown. It's tomorrow, Saturday, October 29th. Weigh-ins are at 7 a.m. and the bouts start at 12 p.m. So that's Richard Still's Boxing Gym and Foundation, and this will probably be their last event of the 2020. So
the location for that fight?
That's on the northwest side of town, guys. The address is 2475 West Cheyenne. It's Suite 110. And it's $15 for admission, and kids under 5 get in for free. So, and always remember, when you buy, especially at a Richard Steele's, which is a nonprofit organization, when you buy a $15 ticket, you're supporting these young local amateurs, but like you said, it helps buy equipment for the gym, and might pay someone's dues that you can't afford the dues that month, and they travel. A lot of these kids are getting ready to go to one of these other tournaments I have here, the Gene Lewis tournament, so they use that for travel money too.
Yeah, well, the Nevada State Athletic Commission has a program where they sponsor the travel for a lot of these
Correct.
Nonprofit groups out there, and the one thing about the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they always get the support for the amateur fighters.
Yeah, the Athletic Commission will do a reimbursement for the amateur boxers as far as hotel, lodging, different things like that. I think they support the coaches, too, with some of their gas and lodging and stuff, too, maybe even airline tickets to a certain degree. And also remember, too, is when we have these events in the state of Nevada, at the amateur events, not the pro events, you have to have 2 ambulances, but at the amateur events, you have to pay for an ambulance.
Yeah.
Well, ambulances nowadays go, $400, $500, $600, $700, and the Athletic Commission does reimburse the sanctioned, person that's throwing the event for that too. So Nevada Athletic Commission does help out a lot with the amateurs down here.
Now, at the amateur level, is it required that they have 2 ambulances or only one?
Just one. It's just one. We got to have a ringside physician. You got to have a physician at weigh-ins to do all the medicals and the physicals and all that. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have one ringside, or otherwise you can't have the event or the bout. And you got to have doctors and one doctor, and you got to have ambulance paramedic there.
Okay, so now how was that you got started in the amateurs? Tell our viewers how you got started. Some of our viewers, they were probably interested in becoming officials. I want you to tell them, we had said this in other shows, previous shows, but explain to them how to go about becoming an official.
Well, you know what, guys, we need good people. We need people. We need good people, and I will be doing some high school wrestling officiating this year. I got with Mark Ratner, the old commissioner out here. So if you're not even in a boxing, you can get at your local state level, and they need people for soccer, baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, all that. But here with boxing, I got into mixed martial arts about 18 years ago, did all the different judo, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo. I ended up getting with a boxing coach who won the national championships at UNLV here back in the day, right. Coach Jose Gonzalez. He got me to fall in love with the sport of boxing again. And then from there, I just started competing. I started getting into coaching. And then one day I just went and they had a clinic for officials down at the Roy Jones tournament down here at the Thomas and Mack Center. My buddy, Coach Julio Rosario, was like, let's go learn the rules or whatever. Let's get out of the house. So I played hooky from work and went down there, met all the guys down there, and really got intrigued with it, and started working right at that tournament there. They put me at the inspection table, the gloving table, and started signing hand wraps and handing out gloves, and there you go. There it was, and that was well over 5 years ago. Yeah,
that was the beginning.
Well over 5 years ago.
That was your beginning of your amateur career. Yeah. Now I understand that recently you got licensed in Colorado.
I did get my professional boxing referee license in the state of Colorado. I also do have it in Minnesota. I got ABC, that's the Unified Rules, certified as a judge and a referee with ABC. I will be going to Phoenix, Arizona beginning in December and get ABC certified for a referee and a judge in mixed martial arts and MMA. I did the NABF convention here in Las Vegas and met Dwayne Ford and Solomon and all these high-level guys, and got to hang out with Jay Nady and Kenny Bayless and Tony Weeks and all them. And then I got online with the WBC University, and I just passed the level 1 referee course with the WBC. And I'm going to go to the WBA convention in Orlando in December. Maybe you can go with me, man. Tony Weeks is going to go. And
well,
so I'm just getting all these certifications like you did back in your day. I'm just, getting everything together, and I'm getting all my certifications and getting ready to roll.
Well, that's the way you become a top-notch referee. Like Benji Esteves was like you. He was in the amateurs first, so many years in the amateurs. Then he developed into the pros. And that's what I like to see, you young guys. You're young, you're talented, you love the sport. I don't like to hear guys say, I want to be in the sport, but I don't really like it. I hate to hear that. you got to have, you can't say it's a hobby, because boxing is not a hobby. I mean, this is, you're in the hurt business, and you got two fighters' lives in your hands, and you want to make sure that they be taken care of properly. That's why these training, these seminars, and also working out yourself, keep yourself physically fit, and working out in local gyms, work out with these fighters, and let them, you get the feel for it. So when you start doing the professional ranks, the 4-rounders, 6-rounders, you work your way up to the championship level, and then you'll have a great career.
I did watch your guys' interview yesterday, and that's something that kind of took me back a little bit. What you said is this is the hurt business, and you don't play boxing. And if you're going to be in there as a referee, you need to take it as serious as possible and get as much training as possible, and and take it serious. Because, like you said, at the end of the day, whether you're in the amateurs and they're 10 or 12-year-olds, or you're in the professionals and they're grown men and women, you do have these boxers' health and up to their lives in your hands.
Exactly.
And you do need to stay on top of your conditioning. You do need to stay on top of the rules. You do need to practice. I just left Top Rank Boxing Gym right now and got about 15 rounds of referee practice in there. I was in there with a lot of the guys I had in the amateurs that are pros now. Fernando Vargas was there with all three of his boys, Emmy and Amato and Vargas Jr. They're all pros now, so I was able to get in there and move around with them. And it's kind of like the full circle here. And
But that's what you got to do to keep yourself, on top of your game, because a lot of individuals don't want to. They're too lazy to go out and work out, go to the gym, and when the guys that really make it to the top, of guys like you dedicate your time. You don't take the escalator.
Well, and that's a great point, you guys. And I heard Benji talking yesterday too. Look, if it was easy, everybody would do it, but it is possible to do it. But you got to work. You got to work. You can't get on the escalator, the elevator. You got to get on the stairs with Joe and I, and start climbing. You got to put the work. And I've seen many referees, and you have too, probably more than me. Been around a few days longer than I have. That I want to be pro or I want to be this and that, but they're not doing anything to go out and get it.
No, you have to dedicate yourself. Give your time. You got to pay your dues.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it because you're good looking or because you're connected with somebody. That doesn't go in boxing. You could be the best in the world, but if you don't put in your time, you think you're the best. Or some people say he has great potential, but you got to keep working at it like a fighter. You got to train every day in the gym to keep yourself active and stay on top of your game. You have to work out.
You get rusty, and you have to keep growing in the business, in the game. It's probably not maybe like it was 30, 40, 50 years ago where you could do a little time in the amateurs and pop right up. That still might be possible in certain states, but nowadays there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of good boxing officials out there. There's a lot of good referees, and it's competitive, and you got to keep pushing and keep getting all these accolades and practicing and stay, like Benji said yesterday, getting a good amateur program and get your live reps in until you move up high enough in the pros where you're getting enough assignments where you can pull back from the amateurs.
Exactly. Now, in the boxing game, there's always been a lot of changes in boxing as far as times have changed and things are a little different now than they were in the past. How do you see amateur boxing today as to it was maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago?
It's going to be interesting to see just in the last 5, 6 years since I've been in it, and I've been training boxing for about 12 years. I've seen a transition post-COVID, but now with this whole Olympic thing, up in the air too, maybe not having the Olympics, boxing in the Olympics anymore, which would be horrible to me, but it's a possibility that could happen in future Olympics.
How did that come about? What happened with that?
There was a lot of, it was not just one thing, and I don't have all the information on it, but it was a lot to do with different scandals or different issues with AIBA, which is USA Boxing is obviously the United States sanctioning body, and then over that is AIBA, which is the international. So there was a lot of, and I don't know, a lot of supposedly corruption or, unethical things that happen, and I think the Olympics kind of got tired of all the BS, let's say, and like they've cut baseball out of the Olympics and other things in the past.
Well, in boxing, you see, I saw this past Olympics, they had a professional fighter, several of them that fought in the Olympics.
Yes.
And I can't buy that.
No.
Because I think professional fighters, and there's another level that they're much more well developed than amateur fighters. You know, and I just couldn't see that happening. But there's one individual.
There was a couple of them. I think Keyshawn Davis and Tiger Johnson. I think because of COVID and the Olympics got pushed back that year. You know, they were in Japan.
Yeah.
They did, have a waiver, a thing this year where if you had below a couple bouts that you could still compete in the Olympics. I think that was just a one-time deal because of COVID.
It's just like in the amateurs. In the amateurs, you got the novice division for beginners.
Correct.
And then you got the open division.
Yeah.
So, it's not fair to put a novice fighter in with an open fighter. Now, even in the amateur, could you imagine a professional who's above open in the pros? I mean, fighting, these young fighters are coming up. You get a 16-year-old, 17-year-old fighting the Olympics, fighting a man who's 25, 30 years old. In the pros,
three pro, yeah.
I
Like you said, boxing's different. I know they do it in basketball and in hockey and a lot of these other Olympic sports. They started letting the professional athletes come in, but I'm in agreement with you when it comes to boxing, and you got a 17 or 18-year-old male or young female, and now you're putting them in against a grown woman or a grown man. It's different. It's not basketball. It's not it's different.
You're in her business.
They're not wearing headgear in the Olympics. It's not like you're going to nationals or
some of them wear them though, but it's not mandatory.
No, not well. It used to be, and then back in the Sugar Ray Leonard days, you didn't. And then you had to, and now you don't. The headgear really at that level, honestly, it's for protection, of course, first and foremost, but it's to prevent cuts.
Yeah, but
in the amateurs.
But I can tell you one thing that I know: a lot of fighters, even like including one of the greatest, Muhammad Ali, he used to wear the headgear and the 16-ounce gloves for training.
Correct.
And to me, and they would seem to like maybe drop their hands more because they had the headgear on, and they felt like it was a sense of protection.
Security, like a security blanket.
Yeah, and it really isn't because, anytime you get hit with the punches, when you prepare for a fight in the pros, you train probably 50, 60, 70, 80 rounds of sparring.
Yeah.
And if you take those punches to the head constantly in the gym, your brain, it was inside. You get hit with the hard blows, your brain still,
Even with headgear on, you're getting concussed and your brain's getting rattled in there.
And I think that's what happened to a lot of fighters. They're walking around on their heels when they retire, and all because not only what the punches they took in the ring while competing, but all the punches they took while they were training for a particular fight.
Sparring, you still got to be very careful in sparring. You got to get with good coaches and everybody. Yeah, you're there to work and you're there to get some good hard work in, but sometimes people overdo it in sparring and they think it's a dogfight, and let's like you said, let's make sure these kids have lives after boxing.
Well,
too.
that's why I said in the amateur and the professional, I want to see better trainers out there, good, well-polished trainers that can train these fighters and train them how to hit and don't get hit as often. Some guys that go out there, throw them, make them sluggish, they throw them punches, they get hit so many times in one round. I've seen fighters get hit in one round more than I got hit in my whole career. Yeah. All because they don't have the good trainers showing a good defense.
It's my growth here in the Valley of being at different gyms, and now as I'm escalating up, I'm getting to more skill type gyms, and all the way up to top ranked boxing gym now, where you have the best of the best of coaches. You have the best of the best of boxers. There are even some amateurs that are high level, but mostly pros. And you can see a difference. You can see the whole different level in boxers, and like you said, a whole different level in coaches and trainers that I'm not used to. You got just a whole room full of highly skilled trainers in that gym.
Well, that also goes in life in general too, because in life, here you are, your wife and you. Something happened recently.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you reminded me. I don't want to be in trouble with her. It's actually, I want to wish my wife, Nayeli Vincent, a happy 22nd wedding anniversary this Sunday, October 30th. We got married 22 years ago at Caesar's Palace, Lake Tahoe. So we've been together 32 years. We're high school sweethearts over here at Western High School, 22 years together.
Yes, you do. You don't want to mess with that marriage. You don't want to
say I don't want us to be. I'm going to put you in there. I don't want us to be in trouble. So happy anniversary, Natalie. Love you, babe. Thanks for everything. Gave me 2 beautiful kids and changed my life forever, man. So very grateful. Very grateful.
We're very proud of you. You're a good man, and
thank you.
And she's a wonderful lady, and you're beautiful kids. I love your kids, the way you're bringing them up. You're putting a lot of time to these kids, and that's so important because what's happening a lot around the country these days. there's a lot of crimes being committed. And I think a lot have to do with the way the kids are being brought up.
Yeah.
You know, they're not given the love and attention that's needed. And you're always taking the time out for your children, your wife. You take them to little vacations here or there, always with them. You go to take them to school, pick them up. You do special things for them. That means a lot. And they know that you care for them and you love them. And they don't want to do anything to hurt you guys.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the kids so good. But that's what's needed out there today. I tell the parents out there, give the time, dedication to your kids, and get them involved in different activities, different sports, because what's happening today is that these kids are not getting the love and attention and the caring that they need. They need some discipline. You know, when they get into sports, you get coaches and whatnot, they teach them discipline. They have to listen. If not, they're off the team or whatever, you know. They can't compete. If you're not a good student in some programs in school, you're off the volleyball team,
Yeah.
You're off the basketball team,
Correct.
You're off the football team. They don't let you compete.
Your grades got to be at a certain level, and your attitude and personality's got to
Exactly.
be at a certain level.
I got my grandson Bryce Hampton, who plays for Purdue University.
The Boilermakers,
You know,
baby.
Boilermakers, yeah. And he has to play. In order to stay on the team to be playing, you have to have good grades in school.
Correct.
So he's really studying real hard to get his degree when he graduates. Now this coming June, and
You got to be so proud of him,
Yeah,
man.
we are.
Purdue, man, Big Ten school, and he's at a high level school, and he's a defensive back, a safety and a defensive back or cornerback for them.
Cornerback, and he's a number zero.
Number zero,
Bryce Hampton.
Yeah, and Vegas boy, and like you said, he's playing at a high level. But really, the most important thing is he's going to graduate and get his degree. Man,
Yeah.
he's going to walk out of the University of Purdue with a degree in his hand.
Yeah, but not only that, but the thing is that he's a good young man.
That's what.
And it all comes to the way you bring these kids up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is that I don't want to brag about my grandson. I mean, I'm so proud of him, but I'm just telling you people, you folks out there, your children, please take your time to cater your time to them. Give them what they need. They need the love and attention. Make them feel very important. Make them feel like if they do something that's going to hurt the family, they hurt themselves and hurt the family. We don't want that. So we talk to them when they're tiny little guys. You bring them as they're growing up. They know that you care for them. And they always have that feeling. They don't want to do anything to hurt you. And that's how it's done. Just like you do with your kids,
Yeah, it's been an honor, and I'm so very grateful to have children and being able to raise them, and it's just been a blessing to me. It's changed my life forever for the best, and I wouldn't give it up, and I'd do it a million times over. And I work with the school kids, and I work with USA Boxing kids.
Talking about USA Boxing Kids program, you got little brochures here. Can you talk to us about the USA Boxing?
Absolutely, guys. So I had mentioned earlier, man, I get people all the time, well, the politicians aren't doing this, or the churches aren't doing that, or the schools aren't doing this, and everybody wants to sit kind of back and tell what everybody else is doing. But you do have opportunities yourself, you out there, I'm talking to you, you have the opportunity yourself to make a difference. And I told you can volunteer at these schools, you can volunteer at animal shelters, you can do whatever you want, but volunteer, get a little skin in the game. But with us at USA Boxing, we'd be grateful to have you. You can always go to usaboxing.org, and they have a big website there if you're looking to become a coach right here. We can get you on the right path to become a USA Boxing coach, get certified so you're able to corner your athletes at sanctioned USA Boxing events. If you want to become an athlete, mine's yellow because I'm an old man. The young kids get the weight books, but we can get you going where you can become a certified athlete and get your physical and everything in here, where you can start competing at USA sanctioned. When I say sanctioned, you're going to have an ambulance and a doctor, and you're going to have all us officials there to keep you safe and protected. And then last but not least, and this is my favorite one, the blue book, and this is for officials. So this is working the gloving table, signing hand wraps, inspecting, timekeeping, refereeing, judging, and many more other things. I travel around the country. I do events all over the country, to grassroots events, to regional, to national events, and we can get you going as a USA Boxing official. You guys can always hit me up at West Vegas Vincent on Instagram and message me, and I'll gladly give you any information that you're looking for.
Well, this is what we need. That's why I brought you on the show today, Jason, because the folks out there, they love the sport. They want to learn how to get involved, and that's why every time I bring you on the show, I want you to explain to them that there's opportunity. The doors are open for them here in Nevada and other states as well. There are all kinds of programs. You guys are watching this program here from Las Vegas, but we're talking about USA, the whole country, and you want to get involved in any program. Check out your local jurisdiction where they have the police athletic league, they have boxing program. Call them up, go to the local gyms and see how you can get started and get some work. Open the door. These trainers that are there, the owners of these gyms, will gladly walk you through.
You guys look, and if boxing you're watching this and you like boxing, but maybe you like soccer or women's volleyball or boys basketball, there's opportunities in your state. We need officials. I talked to Mark Radner.
Right.
We need officials because of COVID and the economy and gas and all the expenses nowadays. They've lost tremendous amount of officials,
right.
And they've lost some due to some parents and coaches getting rough with the officials too, unfortunately. But we need good people, and that's any high school sports. We can get you guys involved in those too. Your high schools, and it's not even high schools, it's T-ball, it's Pee-wee all the way up to high school. Your local sports in your community need good people to help referee and timekeep and supervise these kids. And a lot of states will pay you to go out and do it.
Well, that's great. See, this is why I have this show. This is a nonprofit. I do this show because I want to get people like Jason on the show, and I have Benji Stebbins, the referee. All people from all walks of life. I have doctors, lawyers, all kinds of individuals on the show just to share our knowledge and wisdom to you guys and get you guys to understand that we care about you guys. We care about helping you out. The Joe Cortez Show is not about Joe Cortez. It's about you guys out there. It's about getting you guys informed of what's needed out there. And Jason, going back to boxing, how do you see professional boxing today as it was years ago?
I think it's revitalized with the heavyweight division and like the divisions, the lower divisions that we talked about, all the divisions, all the way from, the flyweights and all the way up to the heavyweights. It's a great time. I know there's peaks and valleys always in professional sports, but you got the heavyweights are going. And when the heavyweights are going, there's excitement in there. But all those different middleweights.
When Mike Tyson left, there was nobody there. Now they got
it was like a 10-year,
now Tyson Fury comes around.
You got all these guys in there, and then even like at super middleweight, you got the Killer Bees there. You got Bivol and Benavidez, and you got all these different guys there. And man, it's awesome. That's what I think it is. It's awesome. I can babble on here, but it's just absolutely awesome.
So boxing has its peaks and valleys, and like I said, sometimes you have some great years of great boxing. Those years when Hagler, Duran, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, you name them, to Mike Tyson, and all these guys that were in the heavyweight division. So many great fighters out there, and now kind of calmed down a little bit. But there's a fighter by the name of Anderson. He's a heavyweight. He's about 23 years young.
American,
Yeah, he's an American fighter, heavyweight, and he looks very promising. I've seen him box a couple of times. He shows that he has some time. The kid from United Kingdom, Joey Joyce, is another heavyweight who's up and coming.
Yeah, it's not only do you have those guys at the top, you got 4 or 5 or 6 guys below working their way up. One thing I would say, and I know we're running out of time, the only critique I could really give, I mean there's a few, but one I could give here locally is we do, I was born and raised here, Jason Vegas, Vincent. We do need to bring back those 4 and 6 rounders here. We get the top rank one once a month or once every 2 months, and you usually get the big events there. It's still the fight capital, but I do miss those ones at the Showboat and the Hacienda and the Old Aladdin and the Texas Casino and Stardust and Silver Slipper and Orleans. And so we are missing those, and I'd like to see these smaller mid-level promoters come back and put some of those on so our guys don't have to go to Mexico or somewhere else. They can get their fights here in Las Vegas or here, here in the United States.
Well, we're hoping that with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Jeff Mullins, who's executive director, and you got the commissioners there. I'd like to see them all get together and maybe have a little powwow meeting with some of these promoters, invite them to come back and tell them, listen, we got opportunities for you. The taxes are going to be lower. We're going to give you an opportunity to do certain things. Have a regular show on a regular basis.
That's a great idea.
I mean, all these hotels you just mentioned, the Stardust, the Silver Slipper, the Orleans, and so many other there. They have regular general admission tickets, like maybe $20, $25
tops,
and then you get a good ringside seat. You don't see those no more.
No, the Westgate or the old Hilton Hotel. We had them all over.
Anyway, guys, you know that in boxing, we love boxing. I love boxing very much, but I love especially bringing on my guests like Jason Vincent on the show. We hope to see you guys soon. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and watch out with your kids. Be careful what the candy that they bring home. Make sure you check them out before they eat them, because a lot of stuff that's out there that you heard about, the pentothal, the drugs that's out there, the phenol,
yeah.
and that's terrible stuff that's out there. Keep your guys up at all time. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. God bless.
Happy anniversary, babe.
Bye.